Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 7 of Super Switch Heads. My name is David.
Hey, my name is Matthew.
I am Patrick.
And we're here with a very special guest today, here to talk about cooperative and multiplayer couch games. We got Emily Nutter here on the podcast today. How are you, Emily?
Hey.
How are you?
Good. I'm really good.
That's fantastic to hear. We got some fun stuff to talk about today and some news. What do we got on the docket today, boys?
Yeah, lots of news and rumors this week, actually. A lot of things we want to cover. We'll go through quickly. And then, we're going to talk about games where we can play together in person, in real life. IRL, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Togetherness is key.
So there's a couple shout-outs I want to give to some people. Blue Nickel gave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Thank you. That helps very much, everybody. So
Thank you, Blue.
Thank you, Blue Nickel, whoever you are.
Nickel.
What a nice person.
There's also a comment from Tommy Green on Facebook who said, "You almost read my mind." And he's talking about me, you guys.
When we were doing our Zelda discussion?
Yeah, on our last episode about Zelda, he agrees that he wants a playable Zelda, though he added in a playable Ganondorf to his desire to have sort of three characters where you can each have unique abilities. That I'm not sure how I feel about the Ganondorf, but I still like your comment, Tommy.
That'd be wacky. That'd be like Bowser coming into it like a Mario Tennis or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's just here.
Never been done before.
Yeah, never been done. This is uncharted
That'd
territory.
be like Bowser and Mario Tennis.
Yeah. That's kind of reminds me a little bit of Triforce Heroes, right? Wasn't that 3 characters as well?
It was, yeah.
Should just get a Triforce Heroes port and reskin with Ganondorf.
In the Breath of the Wild engine.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Are you listening, Nintendo?
And you guys did something this past weekend. Tell us about that.
We went to the South by Southwest Festival.
Yeah.
Gaming Festival.
It's South by Gaming. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun time. It's not free anymore. But we
It was
went.
still pretty fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
We did some networking.
Yeah, we did some networking. We hit up some like developers and asked them if they wanted to do interviews, and they were all like, "We live in Australia."
And then he said, "Do you want to do an interview?"
But it was cool. We met the people behind the Gardens Between Us. That was a fun game. We played that for a little bit.
That's kind of like a puzzle game.
Yeah, it's almost like everything's set up kind of like a little diorama, almost kind of like Captain Toad a little bit, where it's like kind of a rotating thing that you kind of explore, and you change time going forwards and backwards.
Yeah, it's got similar mechanics to some levels in Braid. Which
Yeah,
is, like an Xbox Live game or like
fun.
a PC game where you can control time. And that's how you solve puzzles, is by seeing how time flow interacts with the environment.
Yeah,
That's cool.
They were really cool. And we watched a couple pitches.
Yeah, we saw one of the pitch. I'm trying to think what was the medieval GTA called? Started with an R.
Yeah, I don't really remember, but it was medieval GT. He called it Grand Theft Horse.
Yeah, it's Grand Theft Horse, and it's like Grand Theft Auto 2, but medieval.
Yeah.
So like top down or
It was
whatever?
top down.
Yeah.
It looked really fun.
There's a cool one too, where you kind of like control your character with the pitch that you're humming or singing, and it's kind of like almost like an auto runner, but where you go up and down based on your voice.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. There's a bunch of cool games. Hopefully, some of those get funded.
In that game, there's like it's like a platformer, but there's a huge gap, and in order to fill the gap, you use the tone of your voice.
Yeah,
so you raise your
bridge it.
tone to have like a high incline, or lower your tone to have a lower incline.
Interesting.
It was like a really interesting mechanic.
Yeah, but we're not going to tell you any of the names of any of these games because we forgot them.
We'll tag them in the description or in the comments below.
But yeah, it was fun. It was cool. I recommend if you're into gaming, and you live in the Austin area, there's a bunch of great kind of indie showcases of different stuff that go on. This Juegos Rancheros happens once a month. Fantastic Arcade is another one, another great one that happens. So yeah, if you're into the indie scene and you live in the Austin area, you should make it out to some of these festivals. It's always a good time.
Cool. Let's get into the news. So one big piece of news that happened this week is there is a Nindies Direct Showcase happening on March 20th at 11 a.m. Central, which is what time Greenwich mean?
It's
time?
11? That would
11
be,
a.m.
That's 5 p.m.
Okay. If I'm going to do this every time we talk about times, I should probably
That's fine. It's the one joke we really have.
That's true.
But But yeah, I'm also sensing a pattern here. It feels like they're always dropping these things on Wednesdays.
Yeah, they shifted from Thursday to Wednesday. It seemed like they were doing all the directs on Thursdays, and now they're on Wednesdays.
Much to our chagrin. Yeah.
But so one interesting thing about this, they said it's going to be 30 minutes. I believe this is the longest Nindies showcase direct, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That they have announced. That's the longest amount of time they're going to do on this. So I think that makes sense that, the independent games have been doing really well on the Switch. So they're spending more time on it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you guys want to see in this or expect to see?
I mean, Spelunky 2. I'd love to see Spelunky. Other than that, maybe 28 minutes of that could be Untitled Goose Game. Yeah. No, there's so many games that I think would be great to come out. But yeah, Spelunky's high on my radar. What about you, Matt?
Untitled Goose Game. They released a new trailer on Twitter.
I saw they had 7 minutes of gameplay or something. Maybe that was a separate thing.
Yeah, this could have been with IGN. I'm trying to think. Mm-hmm. They had multiple sources in. It looks great.
So there's
you know what won't be in the presentation probably is Castle Crashers 2.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. So they teased on...
Oh wait, Castle Crashers Remastered.
Remastered. They teased on Twitter that Castle Crashers, I don't think remastered, but that it was coming to the Switch. And then just earlier today, they announced it definitely is.
Yeah. They've been hinting at it with those colored Joy-Cons and stuff on Twitter.
Did you guys ever play that?
Yeah, I played on Xbox.
I feel like it's one of the first indie games I ever
Yeah, I think it was. It was a 360.
Yeah, it's like Xbox Live
Arcade.
Arcade.
The first big indie game on the console or whatever.
Yeah, it was like a classic arcade brawler. Yeah. Like, it really reminded me of like Konami, Ninja Turtles, and Simpsons arcade games.
So another thing that some people have been reporting that emails are now being sent when games on your eShop wish list on the Switch itself go on sale.
Whoa.
Yeah, whoa, right? Because previously it did nothing.
Yeah, finally.
Such a novel idea.
It was functionless, other than, I guess, a source to keep track of your...
One day I'll get the treasure tracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes you feel good to put a little check next to it if you're poor.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like, it's the, like, if you can't buy it or you don't want to, it's like almost buying it.
Yeah, that's good. It's about time. Steam's been doing that for years and years, and so it's finally good to see Nintendo doing that. It
makes sense.
Yeah, it truly does.
Another big news thing that's not directly Switch related, but is that Google had a big announcement today at GDC. They are getting into gaming. They have got this whole streaming service called Stadia.
Google Stadia. Yeah.
Stadia.
What do you think about that? I mean, you guys both watched the presentation.
I did. Yeah. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched some of it.
Yeah.
And I kind of skipped around and read stuff about it. But just to be clear, yeah, it's like you can stream theoretically. And they didn't provide all the details about how it's going to work in terms of what you pay for, and that. So there's a lot of questions. An exact release
date or anything like that,
right? But yeah, you're going to be able to stream games directly to I guess anything that has Chrome, probably
minus the Switch at this point.
Yeah.
And
they also have it can be not just 4K but like 8K, and they have all kinds of like specs that are beyond the current specs that it can support. So that's pretty cool.
Does that mean that like Google is getting Nintendo games to put on Chromecast? I don't understand.
No, not Nintendo games at this point.
And also like not any probably exclusive games. Probably just whatever.
Well, they did say they've got their own development studio.
So maybe they'll be making their own exclusives. Yeah. But like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, they did sort of a test run with that game, which we already kind of knew about. But so yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of questions about it, but theoretically, you can just have your controller and play a little bit of a game on this computer, then go somewhere else and keep playing.
It's kind of cool.
All in the cloud. Your saves, your info, the streaming, everything.
The Google controller was kind of interesting too, because it doesn't connect to whatever system you're using. It connects over Wi-Fi to the servers where your games are being hosted. So it's like you can move over to like a cell phone or whatever, and just your controller just goes one-to-one with whatever. Yeah, you don't even need a screen. You could theoretically just play.
Once you're like,
controller,
it's like, you know how people played like certain games like blindfolded, like Knockout or Tetris or whatever. Yeah,
it's definitely odd, but it's interesting that this came out as we've all been talking about this kind of Xbox, their Project Cloud thing that they're working on, and especially what they've been talking about with potentially moving Game Pass over to the Switch. Like, it's definitely seeming like that might be kind of the direction that gaming is going in.
Yeah, this is a whole conversation we should have at some point
for sure.
About the future of gaming, especially as 5G comes out, because that's one of the big questions too: is how good is streaming games going to be with your average
Buffering.
internet?
Yeah. We're not like at Korea levels of internet yet. You know what I mean?
I just have a few questions about tech, which is like it's a Wi-Fi controller. How does that work with like input lag? If I'm playing a competitive FPS, like how does that work and what the input lag is, and like the payment. I don't know what it'll work with. I think about the levels of friction is you see a streamer play, you want to play that game, then do you pay for a trial and then pay for the full game?
I think they give trials of most of the games. That's kind of what it seemed like. So
that
it's
makes
like,
sense.
I think it was like, oh, you see a trailer for a game on YouTube and it has a play now button, and within 5 seconds you're playing the game. Like that's kind of what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, I don't know. It's weird.
The potential YouTube integration is pretty cool though, because they own YouTube. Apparently on the controller, there's just a button where you can just stream or upload to YouTube. I don't know. Well, there's a lot of questions, but it's pretty interesting.
Apparently the latency should be better for online as well, like multiplayer, just because everybody's going through the same like hosted server as opposed to like peer-to-peer and then through another server and then back to the user. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Yeah.
But hopefully we see some stuff like that coming to the Switch, honestly. I mean, that's been Japan exclusive for the most part so far. So I'd like to see how it works.
And they added Nintendo Switch Pro controller support too. So you don't need one of those Google controllers. You can use pretty much anything, it seems like. But moving on, because that is a whole other discussion we should have. There is a data miner modder named Mizumi on Twitter who posted this week that they found there are 16 slots for extra characters, and that includes the Piranha Plant. And I guess part of what they said is that the first one is taken up by Piranha Plant, and we know that there are 5 more coming in the Fighters Pass. So this doesn't mean anything; it just may be future proofing by Nintendo. But how cool would it be if this game gets
3 seasons,
3 seasons, which is possible?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't.
Incredible. All right, we're gonna get Alien Hominid, and then we're also gonna get Untitled Goose.
Untitled Goose.
Untitled Goose.
It's just like an alt skin of a Duck Hunt.
Yeah. That makes so much sense to me, especially in this like games as a platform era that we live in right now. It's like, and this is like Smash Ultimate, so I can see this being the Smash game for the next like 5 to 8 years.
It's the life of the Switch, at least. Probably.
Yeah, so if they come out with 5 characters a year over the next like 2 years, that gets me excited.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that happen.
We will see if anything comes out of that.
We'll see in 2 years.
Yeah, we'll let you know next week. So NPD is a company that tracks retail sales of different things, including video games in the U.S., I should say. And I think every month they put out information, but it's proprietary. But there was a leak, and so we got to see a little bit of information about sales in the U.S. for video game console hardware, and the Switch is in the lead. In February of this year, they sold 363,000 units in the United States. That's a lot.
That's wacky for February.
Yeah, translation, that's a lot.
Yeah, I think PlayStation's was like 280 or something like that. And it's, just for no games really coming out in February, that's pretty insane. I don't know why people are buying it in February specifically, but
that's
good.
That's good. Yeah. And also Smash was on the top of software sales. Well, this is physical only, because obviously how did they, only Nintendo knows what people are buying on Nintendo eShop. Right. But that's cool that Smash is on top when there's been a few big releases. I mean, did Anthem come out in February?
Yeah, that was the highest selling total software game, I think, for all of the consoles was Anthem. But
wow.
Yeah, I don't see that sticking around for too long.
No, it hasn't been doing very well.
Yeah.
There is a Splatoon 2 demo coming to the eShop. Starting as of you're listening to this now, you can go. If you're listening to this in a timely fashion,
right? If you're listening to this punctually,
you can go download it. But from March 19th to March 25th, and you can get a free week of the Nintendo Switch Online service. and play. What's it called, David? The NES. What's the official name for the NES? Games?
Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Switch Online.
You could play that.
And theoretically, Tetris 99.
Oh yeah,
you want to give that a try too. Yeah.
So that's cool. There's a couple other quick things. Mario Maker release date possibly leaked by a German retailer. They listed as June 28th, 2019. That's the last Friday in June. So it might just be placeholder, but it's kind of like on an ad thing that they did. So
I wish it was on the first Friday of 2019.
That would be like right before or right around E3 if it was on the first. So I think it makes sense that they're going to do it later in the month.
Hype it up a little bit at the show.
Yeah, and show off some stuff at E3.
What do you guys think the big game is going to be at E3 this year?
I kind of wonder if it's that because of the timing of it, but I don't know. Maybe they won't have one big game.
Yeah, because they've done that over the past 3 years, right? It was like the only game they had on the floor was pretty much Zelda, and then it was Odyssey, and then Smash, essentially.
But now you've got Animal Crossing.
Yay!
Yeah, that's what you're going for.
Potentially, at least, and Mario Maker, and I guess
Pokemon.
So
we also have Town.
What if they made the whole thing?
The whole thing's about
Town from Town.
We haven't heard about Town for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, we haven't heard about Town since September, I don't think.
Yeah. It could be about Town.
They're like, Town is the Breath of the Wild style Pokemon game you've always wanted. Just blow our fucking minds with Town. It could be great. It looks cool. Looks fun.
A couple other quick things. Fortnite is now pooling the Switch players with mobile players. So if you're not great at Fortnite, you have a better chance now.
Yeah, I think the Xbox players and the PS4 players are default lumped together.
Yes.
And then now, and PC is with that.
I think PC is separate.
Oh, PC, so it's 3 groups.
I believe so. Don't 100% quote me on, but I think so.
That makes the most sense, I guess. It's like pro players, middle players, and shit players.
I think it's also like the Switch can't render things as quickly, and you know what I mean? Like, you're at a disadvantage. That isn't to say, though, if you're listening to this, you can still play with whoever. I think you can squad up with whoever, but if you just join a game, you're going to be put in with mobile people. So go get those kills.
How does that make you guys feel? Does it make you feel personally attacked that they've lumped us in with mobile players?
No, I think it just means they can't make the game run as well on the Switch.
I think it's honestly, I was getting my ass kicked by like Xbox players, so I might reinstall it.
It still blows my mind that there's cross-platform support for any game. Yeah. Especially for a game so big as Fortnite. Yeah. Like, I can play with my PS4 friends, my PC friends. Like, that's fucking wild to me.
I think it's because of Fortnite, though, right? It's like because it's so popular.
Well, they're who got Sony to play along.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, nobody else could get it done, but Sony, I guess they like hardballed them. But Rocket League too.
Yeah,
I play Rocket League with my friends on Xbox. All
Minecraft too.
Yeah, man, we're in a wild, wacky world now, ladies and gentlemen.
Dead Cells, the first free DLC called Rise of the Giant, has been announced, and it's coming to Switch. It's coming to the PC on March 28th, so that's pretty soon, actually. But they didn't give a date for a console, but they expect it to be soon thereafter. So if you're into Dead Cells, that's pretty cool. Any of y'all still playing that?
I haven't played it in a while, but I almost did the other day.
Well, maybe you should wait until this comes out.
David.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. I mean, yes, I will probably wait until this comes out, but I'm glad they're doing this stuff for free and like supporting it. It's going to get me to dust it off again for sure. I love that game.
And our last news rumor, which is a rumor, King Zell, who we've talked about before, is a leaker on... Tell me how you guys prefer to say this. Do you like Resetera or Reset Era?
I honestly don't know. I think I prefer Resetera.
Tell me what you prefer.
I prefer Resetera.
I prefer a Reset Era.
Oh, really?
Reset Era.
You think Reset Era? No, I mean, that is what makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, because it's the era of resetting. But what did it used to be called?
I don't know.
Was that like NeoGAF?
Yeah, NeoGAF. It's reskin NeoGAF, right? Yeah.
Well, anyway, King Zell is a poster over there who's leaked.
At where? At where, Patrick?
Oh, Reset Era.
All right. I'm on an island all by myself now, ladies and gentlemen.
Who has leaked some things in the past that have turned out to be true, and some things that haven't, by the way. Where is our Metroid Prime trilogy? It wasn't announced in that direct.
I think, I've got theories on that.
All right. But anyway, they said that something big is coming that you would have seemed impossible before, like Mario on PlayStation. What do y'all think about that?
I don't have a PlayStation.
I can't play Mario anymore.
I mean, that's what you're saying. It's like, it would be like that absurd. Like, if something is coming to Switch, that would be that crazy as seeing Mario on PlayStation.
So the community has jumped to the conclusion, which I think makes the most sense, that this is Halo coming to the Switch. That because Microsoft is putting out the Master Chief Collection. I think it's Halo 1, 2, and 3.
It's 1, 2, 3, Halo Reach, Halo 4,
and ODST.
Oh, it has all of those.
Yeah.
To the PC. They're putting that on PC.
Yeah.
And so there's
they were
a lot
pushing
of
that really hard at
speculation.
South by Southwest.
Yeah, that's what's so weird to me is that there's like a newer Halo game, Halo 5. It came out 2 years ago, and then
I played it.
Yeah, it's great. I still play it. I played it last week, but there's this huge push for the Master Chief Collection, which I think is a huge push for Halo Infinite that'll come out on Xbox One X in like a couple of years, and I could totally see a Master Chief Collection if it's coming to PC, then could be coming to other consoles.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely fit the bill of Mario on PlayStation.
And it just fits with all the rumors we're hearing about Nintendo and Microsoft playing nice and doing something together.
Seriously, though, I don't know. For some reason, when I was watching that Google stream today, it just felt like, I don't know. I wonder if, because I feel like that's Google directly encroaching on what Microsoft has been like leading up to.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally is.
So it's like, I wonder if they're going to be as, happy-go-lucky, we put all our stuff on all the platforms kind of ideology going forward if Google's really trying to step in on that game. It's going to be interesting. Like, what if we see, like, Google starting to bring stuff over? Are they going to still want to bring stuff over to the Switch? Does that make sense? Is this too speculation?
No, you're fine.
This is huge speculation. Because this is uncharted, like, technology. We don't know how it's going to work from cross-platform, whether it will work on consoles.
Yeah.
We know it's going to work on, like, computers and tablets and smartphones, but everything else is kind of up in the air, especially with, like, titles, like game titles. We know Doom is coming to
Google.
Stadia.
And to
Stadia.
Stadia.
To Stadia and Switch.
But I love this speculation.
Yeah.
Before we move on to our main topic, to KingZell, I think KingZell is blowing up, and it's getting a lot of attention for all these leaks that have been somewhat successful. They changed their name and on Reset Era, and said they're changing their name, their avatar, for safety reasons.
And they just announced it publicly to the world.
Yeah, exactly. And I can tell what it is because
what is the new name?
We're outing you, KingZell.
Well, I mean, everybody knows.
It is. I can't pronounce this, but the initial C and then like last name Tsubasa.
Yes.
Tsubasa. Yeah.
And then maybe that's a reference to something I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so I guess they're getting some heat.
Can you guys think of anything, like, say, let's just go with this is, like, let's speculate that this is real, right? What other game would be as meteoric as Master Collection?
I think you just have to rule out PlayStation because he or she said PlayStation. So it's like, it's got to be something like Microsoft, right?
So it's probably not God of War or Jack and Daxter or any of the PlayStation stuff. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, or Spyro the Dragon.
Spyro the Dragon.
Spyro is actually how we say it.
We got a listener over here.
The Spyro the Dragon.
What was the one from last week?
Oh, I don't remember. Pepe.
Yeah, Pepe.
I don't know. I can't. It just. Maybe it's because I like Halo and I want Master Chief to be in Smash. I'm kind of stuck on that.
I would like to see like a Rare collection. So Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, so any of those classic Rare games.
That kind of fits the bill of like mascot on other platform. You know what I mean? The only other thing I can think of is like the GTAs, like GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2. You know what I mean? Oh, that would never come over. But it's like something like that that's just like historically not been on anything else.
I can see GTA 5 since it's like 6 years old and it's
I'm
still
kind of surprised they
massive.
haven't.
Yeah, actually, and there's been a lot of like rumors about that coming for a long time now. I doubt that would be like the big surprise announcement KingZell was talking about, but see Tsubasa has been.
Yes, we will see Tsubasa if they are right.
That's why you lead this thing, Patrick.
Okay, so this week we are focused up on talking about local multiplayer games. So this Nintendo Switch hardware itself and their advertisements and all that, they've been really pushing this idea of playing in real life with your friends. The idea that the console itself comes with 2 controllers that you can just quickly pull off and hand to somebody, take with you. And a lot of the games they've been developing have been including local multiplayer options, couch multiplayer. So we're going to talk about some of the games that are big in that and for that, and we're going to also talk about some of the games that we have each personally played. So as a group, I kind of wanted to go through some of the big ones, which includes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mm-hmm. So you can play locally on the game with 4 people in a sort of split screen with just one copy of the game, and that's traditional Mario Kart. No mind blown there, but it's still great. It's the best Mario Kart ever.
It's the best Mario Kart of all time.
But you can also add more people if you have more Switches, and this whole thing that's kind of unique to the Switch in that it's portable. And this is, David and I may have a slight disagreement here about this, but I think that counts. I mean,
I disagree.
It doesn't count.
Yeah, I think if you're on different systems, then you might as well be playing online. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're doing it in person, it's great. But it's like, it's the same thing as if, like, I think like a couch multiplayer, I think of like one system and everybody brings their controllers.
And everybody's looking at one screen.
Yeah, basically.
But you can play locally with like, didn't we get 10 people one time at a meetup?
So we had 12, but the way it works is weird. So like, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch has a local multiplayer,
as a lot of games do. Actually.
Yeah, like they have a mode, but it's really
for using multiple Switches. They have like a local wireless mode.
Right, but you can only have it be up to 2 people on each system, and you have to use sideways Joy-Cons, like split Joy-Cons.
That's total Nintendo,
which makes no sense. So the better way to do it, and it has a cap of 8 people, right, that you can have in those local rooms. But the way we ended up doing it whenever we had 12 was we just had everybody, I just made a room online.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you make a room within the online setup and situation, you can get up to 12 people and you can all still be in the same place, you know? And the way that the Mario Kart Online works, there's no lag because you're all in the same Wi-Fi or anything like that, you know? Great fucking game to play. Couch co-op, though.
I feel really bad when I play Mario because there's like an antenna you can put on your car if you're really bad at it.
Yeah. Like
do you do that? Do you use the antenna?
I need the antenna.
Is that auto steer or is that auto
steer?
I never fall off.
There's auto steering and there's also auto acceleration. Which they put on by default, I think is ridiculous.
I think we've complained about it before, but if we haven't, let's do it again.
Yeah,
or if we have, let's do it again. It's dumb that it's on by default.
And it's such an arbitrary, strange way to turn it off. You have to like open up the menu.
It's not intuitive.
And then like press a certain button, and it's so small because it's split into 4 little
tell.
screens.
Yeah, it's like, is it on? Is it off?
Yeah.
Otherwise, perfect game.
So another big one is Smash Ultimate. You can play 8-player Smash on one system.
Yeah, see, that's couch multiplayer, baby.
Or you can do a tournament with, I don't even know how many you can do. Is it like 32 or is there more? Like,
I think it's even 64.
You can do up to a lot of people. And we've done that a few times at some of our meetups. We've had some tournaments with like 16
We've definitely
people.
done 64 people.
I don't know if that's true, man. And then I wanted to also talk about Splatoon 2 because it is sadly missing a local split screen mode. It really should have it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a game I just like have to binge when I'm alone because I can never really play it with people unless they're just sitting staring at their Switch on my couch.
Which you can do, like in that local wireless, like we talked about for Mario Kart, and that we've done that at some meetups. I mean, Matt, you and I played a lot of Salmon Run at one of the meetups.
We were all playing individually on our Switch.
Yes, in the local...
Yeah, Salmon Run is super fun.
And that was fun because we could actually talk and kind of have, we were terrible, but we could have a strategy sort of. But it'd be great if you could play 4-person split screen Splatoon 2 and just have your own little 2v2 battle or something.
I will argue though that if you had everybody seeing everybody's screen and you weren't on the same team, it might be like people just like tracking you down.
Yeah, that's a whole other discussion, though.
Yeah. Well, I used to play GoldenEye, and I was screen watch. Play Halo and screen watch. It's part of the game, you know.
Yeah.
If you can control your character and pay attention to everybody else, oh man,
that's when you have to jerry rig up like some cardboard and sit real close to the screen so you can't see anybody else's.
If I can screen watch you, you can screen watch me.
Yeah, that's true.
It's fair.
I just
get good.
I will never understand because Splatoon 1 didn't have split screen multiplayer either. Or it did, but only for one mode that was like not very fun and they cut it. You know what I mean? And so it's for Splatoon 2. So I just feel like I would play Splatoon so much more if I could play co-op with a friend like on my couch online. You know what I mean? Like I just think it would be so much fun. And I guess I understand maybe it's just technical limitations, keeping everything smooth, especially when you're playing online.
I don't know. There's a lot of decisions
but
there's a lot of decisions about Splatoon I don't get. It's like, why not give us the option of that? Why not give us the option to play all these different modes when we want to?
It's weird. Splatoon feels a little bit like outside of normal Nintendo stuff. You know, I feel like they just do things differently than all the other Nintendo games, you know, with their just like tons of free DLC stuff.
Yeah.
The lack of splits, like couch multiplayer. Like Nintendo is like the classic company for couch multiplayer. Like you talk about Smash, you kind of glossed over it, but Smash has been the de facto couch multiplayer game since it came out on the N64.
Since Mario Kart.
Yeah, right. Or maybe not exactly. But it just blows my mind. I would really love to see that more than anything else. I'd love to see that in this Splatoon sequel.
Well, before we move on to the games we individually want to talk about, anything else on Mario Kart or Smash or the lack of multiplayer in Splatoon? Anybody want to add?
I just want to say that Splatoon's like probably my favorite game on the Switch. It's really fun, and I hate that I say this, but I always play with the bucket.
Yeah,
and I know it's
shotgunning
like
people in the face.
Basically, like
the slosher?
It's like the shotgun. Yeah.
Hey, it's a weapon.
Yeah, it's a weapon. It's got long reload times and stuff. It's got kind of.
I don't know. I mean, if you wear the right clothes, which I recently found out that you can like collect stuff and make your clothes how you want them to be, which is so cool.
You can like scrub them
super
clean
snails. Yeah, I didn't know that for the longest time, and now I'm just playing to gain more snails and stuff.
Well, it's good to know the Splatoon meta. You know?
But or you can be like me and like know that, but never want to use them because like, well, I gotta wait till I find the clothes I really want to scrub, and but you can just infinitely wait.
I just like always want to scrub the ones that have the like ink moving the ink faster. Like that's my favorite one. I just want to collect those.
Yeah, I feel you. Matt actually bought me my copy of Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
It was very sweet. I was very broke one day, and he was like, "You getting Splatoon, my dog?" I was like, "I don't have any money right now." And then it popped into my email that I got the game, and every time I play it, I think of you.
Oh, thanks.
I thank you very much for that. Yeah. I'm never going to buy you a game, though.
Not even for his birthday?
Huh?
You wouldn't buy him a game for his birthday?
We'll talk.
Yeah.
I'll get you the limited edition of Zelda Link's Awakening.
That sounds good.
It's going to pop up on your doorstep like an abandoned child.
So there are tons of other Nintendo first-party games as well as lots of third-party and indie games that are on the Switch that are really great for local couch multiplayer. Let's just kind of go around the room and talk about some of our favorites and why. Who wants to start?
I can go first.
Matt,
go for it.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I'm transitioning from like Mario Kart, Splatoon, Smash. I feel like there's a level of skill of entry to play those games.
Mm-hmm.
So like Smash, if it's like no items, 1v1 on Final Destination.
Yeah.
Like not everyone likes that, and especially like casual gamers. And so the games that I play with like my non-gamer friends are like Jackbox games.
Yeah.
You guys play Jackbox?
Yeah,
All of those collections are great.
That's what you play with like women.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You said it, man.
I know what they are, but I've never played one. But to be clear, they're trivia games. Is that correct?
It's kind
or sort of like meets like Cranium or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kinda?
it's like a collection of odd games, and they're like super fun and super accessible.
A lot of them are kind of Cards Against Humanity-esque or apples to apples kind of style.
And isn't it true that people can like play with their phone on the Switch? So like the Switch, obviously there's the big screen, but then on your phone you can individually do things.
Yeah, you go to like a website and you enter a room and then you play whatever game it is you're playing and that together where you enter things or draw things.
That's super clever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a game in the Jackbox collection called T-shirt KO.
Oh yeah, it's a weird like
TKO.
anime one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just like you enter a sentence, and then you draw a T-shirt, and then you vote on which one's better. Usually, it's a bunch of dicks because those are my friends.
Yeah,
but they're also like very funny, and you only have like 45 seconds to draw this picture based on the phrase, and
that someone else came up with already.
That someone else came up with,
good.
And it's always
so you could write
incredible.
Just a bunch of dicks, and then they really have to just draw just a bunch of dicks.
Then you just draw a bunch of Dick Cheneys.
Dick Cheney, like really, really good.
A master
Christian
artist.
Bale as Dick Cheney.
Exactly.
On your phone.
There's also another like an invention pitch game where you actually improvise. You can have the game speak for you, but you come up with an invention, like a problem that everyone's trying to solve. And on your phone, you draw a diagram of what the invention is, describe it, and then the game can either explain what the invention is, or you can like improvise the pitch. Like you can pitch it to your people.
That sounds just like doing improv with your friends.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's like Shark Tank with your friends.
How do you win?
People vote on which one's the best.
Best invention.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Hopefully not a bunch of dicks.
That's a good invention.
Dicks are the best invention.
Drawful is great too. I've been playing a ton of Drawful recently with some friends. I've got like a few friends that I randomly play Drawful with, and I want to like bring them all together so I'll play Drawful at once.
Well, explain that. Isn't that sort of similar to what one of the games Matt was talking about?
Very similar. It's like basically you have everybody gets their own prompt that's just theirs, and then you have to draw it. And it's something kind of complicated. It's not like 5 apples. It's like an apple on holiday or something like that, And so it's like, how do you do that? So you have to kind of figure out how to draw it, and then everybody's drawings show up on the screen, and everybody has to type in what they think the prompt is based on what the drawing is. And then it shows the drawing with the real prompt and then all the guest prompts. And you have to pick from that one which one the real one is. So it's like, that's kind of how the points work.
Yeah.
But that one's really fun, especially
so fun.
if you're drunk.
Yeah.
What other things, Matt? Yeah.
Have you guys played 1-2 Switch?
Yeah, right when the Switch came out, I did.
1-2 Switch is great to play with new people, but you can only play it like 2 or 3 times.
You mean you can only play it 2 or 3 times, or anybody? Like you know what I mean?
You can only introduce it to a person, and then you can play it with them 2 or 3 times.
And then it's burned
out.
It?
It's a series of mini games to show off some of the technology on the Nintendo Switch.
Like on the Joy-Cons.
There's like Joy-Cons. There's a game where you guess the number of marbles in a Joy-Con. And it like as you move it and rotate it, it feels like there's marbles inside of the Joy-Con.
Yeah, and you could feel if there's like
HD
2 or
rumble.
3 because the HD rumble.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's insane.
It was a launch game that everybody thought should have been a pack-in game.
It absolutely should have.
It should have been like Wii Sports.
Although they've sold 1 million copies and it was $50. So
obviously they win.
Yeah,
they were right. We are just wishing.
Yeah. We're just.
I've actually never played it, but because I don't want to spend $60 to get a game that I'll only want to play 2 or 3 times.
Well, as a dad, there's a baby simulator.
Let's all shame Patrick into buying 1-2 Switch.
There's a baby what?
There's a baby simulator where you rock the Nintendo Switch. You put it in your arms.
Don't you need another baby?
Yeah. Don't you need to
the Joy-Con? You rock the Joy-Con?
You rock the entire console.
Oh, the entire console.
Yeah.
So everybody. So it's not like everybody doing it at the same time, just one person.
Just one person, yeah. And
it's like the movie Her, but you fall in love with your Switch.
We've already done that.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be doing this podcast.
It also is the only other game other than Labo to use the IR sensor. There's like a game where you have to like eat a sandwich. So you're just like holding the IR sensor in front of your mouth, and then it can see when you're closing your mouth.
Oh my God.
It's really strange.
So you just go,
and like there's no real graphics in that game. It's all like filmed sequences of real life actors. Like on green screen backgrounds, like doing like dressed up as cowboys, and it's like so
just
strange.
Kind of,
I don't know. It's
more like Sewer Shark for the Sega CD. I don't know if anyone remembers that. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, that's like something I would only want to play at a trade show or something.
I think that's the game that you play because of the art style. It doesn't feel like a Nintendo game. And it feels like a prototype game that a third party would pitch to Nintendo.
Right.
I can't believe it exists.
They were still trying to see if the casual grandma Wii users would buy-in this time, which they weren't interested in it this time around, it seems.
Also, you can milk cows.
Oh yeah, that is the best one. You're just going like the
oh my god,
podcast
see what we
can't see what I'm doing, but
yeah,
but it's like that.
I know that they did end up putting it as a free game on one of the bundles, like, or argue free. It's part of the cost, right? But there was a Mario Tennis Switch bundle that came with 1-2 Switch as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was like the cost of the Switch plus Mario Tennis gets you 1-2 Switch free. Anyway,
let's move on from fucking 1-2 Switch.
That's way too much time.
Any games that allows like my non-gamer friends to like engage with games, something that I love, and I can share with people that I care about. That's what I'm all about.
Mm-hmm. You got anything else for us, Matt?
That's it. That's it for now.
What about you, David?
So I've got a few, and I'll go through these quick. But one of the games that I've really wanted to come to the Switch since it came out on PC originally was Nidhogg 2. Have you guys played Nidhogg? You've played Nidhogg, right?
I played Nidhogg.
Yeah, so that game is super fun. The original game was on PC, very minimalist, almost like Atari graphics. But it was like a fencing game, right? And it's 2 players, and it's almost kind of, you just have to get to the end of whichever side of the screen you're running to, and there's multiple screens, so it's kind of like tug of war, kind of going back and forth until you reach the goal.
So I've seen footage of it, but I never really understood what I was looking at. You're not trying to stab the other person?
No, you are, but only because they're in your way.
Oh, you can't jump or anything.
No, you can.
You can. You just got to get past them.
Yeah. It's really fun. We should play after this. Okay. I'll show you. Yeah. But it's
we'll play this in 1-2 Switch.
Honestly, I always wanted to come to Switch, and it wasn't announced for a really long time. They finally announced it. I lost my mind. But it's perfect because it is just 2 players. You're fairly big on the screen, so I feel like it's perfect to just set the tablet down in tabletop mode. And take off the Joy-Cons. And it's like the perfect game for that, right?
Tabletop game.
Yeah. Works great on the couch too, but it's only up to 2 players, right? So it's not like, if you're looking for good 4 to 8 player mayhem or whatever, this isn't your game. But if you like a good challenge and matches that can go on for like a half hour sometimes, man, that game's fucking fun.
And the characters look really cool too.
Yeah. A lot of people hate the art style of the new game because the first one was so minimalistic, but I personally love the art style. I think it's beautiful. Another great one, a game that was made by my buddy Rusty, is Astro Duel, which is a kind of it's basically asteroids, but multiplayer. You can play with up to 6 players on the Switch. It's really fun. It's like competitive. Kind of has this sort of Bomberman Towerfall style scoring. Whenever it's last person standing or however many kills you get, kind of determines your score. You can set it to either. That game's super fun though, and I love it.
That guy's from Austin, right?
Yeah, he's from Austin. Hopefully, we can get him on the show at some point. I've talked to him about it, and but it's it's a really fun game. It was published by Panic Button, who's also here in Austin. And it's great, just old school. If you're talking about a game that just anybody can pick up and play, that one's really fun. It starts with a little tutorial just so you can figure out the kind of movement, because it is that kind of asteroid style where you turn your ship and then you propel. You know what I mean? Super fun game. What else? I had 2 more on here. Towerfall is a really good game. I'm not going to bring up Towerfall. Just play Towerfall. That's another game you can play up to 6 players.
I get that mixed up. Is that the one that we played with where you shoot the arrows?
The arrows.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Towerfall. It's good. Yeah. It's very similar style to like Bomberman scoring. You know what I mean? But you can play with up to 6 players, and it's 1-hit kills, and then whoever gets the most kills at the end wins. It's kind of in rounds.
And you get rewarded with little things like you hug the wall the most,
Right, yeah. It's got the GoldenEye 007 little awards
end,
at the end. Yeah, like
really
most sluggers or whatever.
We played that earlier this month. I had fun.
That game is super fun. It's been out it was an Ouya exclusive originally.
Isn't there a game that's similar to that called like Duck Game?
Duck Game is really
coming
similar.
To the Switch.
There's a lot of games like that. Like I would say Samurai Gun 2, which is coming out soon. It's a very similar style of game, but with guns and swords instead of arrows and jumping on people's heads. I've been playing Samurai Gun forever. Samurai Gun 2 is going to be a day 1 buy for me whenever it comes to Switch. But I call those games like Smash likes, where it's like single screen kind of fighting competitive games. But anyway, okay, 2 more quick ones. Astro Bears Party, going back to Astro games. This game is usually like $5 on the eShop. I think I got it for $125. I think we talked about this at one point.
Astro Bears Party.
Astro Bears Party. Did we never talk about it?
No, I don't think
it's
so.
Great.
It's a great name.
I almost bought it when it was $1, but I didn't.
Just do it. Just do it.
I don't have anybody to play with, you guys. When it's my turn, I'll talk about that.
Okay. I don't know if we want to get there. But it's really fun. It's super cheap. It's basically just like Tron, but on a sphere.
It's like Snake, right?
Yeah, Snake, or where you can't hit your own tail, right? But it's multiplayer, and they're about to add a bunch of new modes to it and stuff for free.
And each of the bears has like unique abilities. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one goes faster. One has like longer jetpacks.
Turning radius.
Yeah, turning radius is better. But yeah, that game is super fun. If you're looking for something cheap, that's a game you can also whip out and anyone can play.
Yeah, like
that game is perfect for like we only have 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, let's play a quick round.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like Nidhogg in that way. And then the last thing I just want to talk about, just because I played it last night with my girlfriend, is Overcooked.
Overcooked is great.
I'd been hearing about it for so long, and I finally bought it. It's on sale. It's also on sale now, I think, through the 6th, or wait, I don't know what day is today. But I got it on sale. It was $10 instead of 20. I recommend checking that out. It's very stressful.
Yeah, I was about to say, how did it go? Because I've never played it, but I hear people say it's stressful, and it's the kind of game you end up yelling at the people playing with.
Yeah. But me and my girlfriend need a little like spice in our relationship. No, but it's fun. It's like it's really addictive. She actually messaged me today. She was just like, "Here are my tips for the next time we play Overcooked to make this better."
Oh, she did tips.
Yeah, she's like,
she was thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I was too. It's like it kind of gave me the Tetris effect a little bit, where I saw kind of stacking plates in my head after we were done playing. It's like
that's funny.
It's like the burgers have to go on the skillet.
I have platformer dreams like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
that's a whole other
That's
conversation.
chill. Anyway, those are some of mine. There's countless good couch multiplayer games. But those are just some of my favorites.
And I think Overcooked is another example of like it's really accessible.
Yeah.
You just make food for people in the time allotted, and it's like really,
it's like 2 buttons.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
Oh, is it really? I kind of was worried that it was like more complicated.
No,
It's not.
the order of things you need to do is what's complicated.
Gotcha.
They keep it simple so it doesn't overwhelm you.
and
Just, like,
talking to your
move and
fellow
carry?
human.
Yeah, and like place and chop and stuff like that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That and Snipperclip's another great, really accessible
Snipperclips
game.
is good.
Yeah. What about you, Emily? What are some of your favorite couch multiplayer games?
Yeah, actually, at one of our first meetups, I started playing Ultimate Chicken Horse, and I was
so
like,
good.
"That game sounds so fucking stupid."
I don't like the name.
I hate the name of it, but it's so much fun. It's like, it's the thing I don't like about it is that when you get really used to playing like Mario, then you're used to the kind of how you jump with Mario, and then
Or
you
physics or whatever.
the physics of that game, and then you move into Chicken Horse and you're like over jumping your shit and you're running into like buzzsaws and stuff. But if you don't know what the game is, basically it's like an empty screen and like you and a bunch of other people basically just put obstacles in the way. And if it's too easy, nobody gets points. But if it's just the right amount of difficult where only like one person can make it every time, then it's like A to B, you get the points. Mm-hmm. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Every time you get to the finish line, somebody adds a new thing or like deletes a thing.
Yeah, and it's really easy to just like straight up mess with your friends.
Yeah,
you know?
people are. It's really fun playing with like sadistic people, and you're
like
like
Bill.
want to like beat their obstacles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, what's up, Bill?
What's up, Bill?
but I mean, yeah, I like love Super Mario. I have like Super Mario magnets on my fridge, and like I'm a huge fan. Like, and I never had the Wii U because I'm a poor person. But when it finally came to the Switch, I was like, I couldn't wait.
We're talking about new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe.
Yeah, yeah. I love that game. You guys like that game?
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
great.
game. And now, if you have people, like we were talking about games where you can play with people who don't play games, there's like a couple of characters in that game that basically don't die. And so you can play the same
They
challenging
die.
level. Only if you fall in like a hole or something.
Yeah.
Nibbit.
Patrick's kid dies.
Patrick's
We
kid
talked
can't be
about this
Nabbit.
last week, so we don't need to repeat it.
I don't know if you guys are on Discord, whoever's listening, but you guys who are on Discord right now in the room, I have this mushroom icon, and it has double horns on it. My friend Mike Giles made that for me because we used to play New Super Mario Bros. And I would just pick him up and throw him into the lava. It's like my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
And this is like, it's such a fun multiplayer game.
It's
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
just to bop someone on the head.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah,
like as you're going by, you're both running, you just kind of run past, just jump on their head. It's just cute.
It's really cute, yeah. There's like I like games where there's like not really competition. I don't know. I love like collaboratively reaching a goal together.
Says the
Yeah.
person who loves Splatoon.
Splatoon and Chicken Horse. Yeah, I know, right? But generally, I just feel like fun gameplay for me is like, you know, it's all fun in games, you know. And then the last game that I was thinking of was Tricky Towers. Which,
yeah.
I mean, David was talking about this game so long before I actually finally played it. And I was like, here we go. I'm going to play this game.
Towers?
It's basically like Tetris, but instead of like filling in a puzzle, there's a few different modes, but basically you're like trying to build a race. You're like racing to build a tall tower that won't fall over. There's like wind elements sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. If you build it all wonky, it'll tumble in the middle or split or tip over.
You can make another person like have a really giant piece, like you get like the opportunity to fuck people over or help yourself, which we know what David does when he plays. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't even use the things because I'm just trying to build as fast as I can.
Yeah, it's true. I remember being like so proud when I like finally beat you in a race.
Yeah.
I was like,
you got really good at that game.
Yeah, you like weren't even paying attention or something. You're like high and you were like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You were like, oh, you won?
Yeah, more people play that game so that it's not barren when I go online.
It's so fun.
The past like 5 times I've tried to play online, people didn't join in. I was like waiting for like 15 minutes before somebody joined.
Oh, that's so sad.
And that's like 15 minutes that I can't be playing another game on my Switch, So it's like,
just waiting in the lobby. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I actually bought the character packs. They do nothing. They just kind of like float next to the game, but they're really cute. I wanted them. There's like one with a parrot head.
Tetris skins. What about you, Patrick?
Yeah. So some games that haven't been talked about like I said, I don't get to play with lots of people local. I have a 4.5-year-old, not quite, but around that age, who I try to get to play video games, and he's not very good yet, but he's getting better. But some games that have worked for me and him have been Captain Toad, which is recent. They patched in the multiplayer, and that's great. I kind of wish it had been there from the beginning because we're in late game, and those levels are harder. And so, like, he'll play for a while, and then he'll just be like, "Why don't you just play this one?" But it's still cool because we got some mileage. Like we dusted that one off, and we played that together. And Pokemon Let's Go has been pretty good too because. The second player can't really do anything.
It reminds me of the person who had the Wiimote in the Mario Galaxy games when you played co-op. It was like they controlled a cursor on the screen.
It's a step above that. It's a step above that. It's great because he can move the character around and not realize that it's not moving us collectively, kind of, what I mean?
Right.
And then I can kind of make the progression.
He's like,
happen.
Dad, am I just a dead appendage to you?
It's been pretty good. And then not with him, but my wife is not a gamer at all, and she doesn't hate video games, but she just doesn't play video games. And I try. One thing that did work was in Mario Tennis Aces, the swing mode.
I haven't actually done that.
The ghost thing where you get Boo's hats. She got really into that, and so we played. We grinded out all the coins I needed to get every Boo hat together.
You guys grinded on the Boo?
Yeah, we did. I grinded with my Boo.
Super Switch head.
Zing. I've also...
You're embarrassed.
I've also... Yeah. Good news is she doesn't like video games.
You're as red as a Shy Guy,
she won't
Patrick.
listen to this.
Also, love is real.
So I also really just kind of like Mario Tennis Aces. I played that with my cousin a lot, both in person, playing doubles, online, next to each other, or just we've played a lot. I really like the gameplay in that game. So I think it's a great couch multiplayer game. I wish I had 4 people that were into it to play with, but whatever. And also, I've never really gotten much local multiplayer out of it, but I love ARMS. I'm kind of surprised this is the first time we've talked about it on this podcast, but I'm a big ARMS fan.
ARMS is fun.
And I got really into ARMS, and the few times I've ever had a chance to play with somebody local has been like, oh, this is great. This is what I've yearned for.
Do you play motion controls or with the Pro Controller?
I don't play motion controls, which I think is what sucks about... I think a lot of people think that like those things go together. And that's one of the reasons ARMS gets panned, because all the ads and everything, motion controls is such a big deal, but it's just like a fighting game.
So I love them. I only play with motion controls.
I mean, that's fair, but I think a lot of people think that's all there is, and you can remap a controller. It's just like any fighting game, and
it makes it harder, but it's more like fun.
We can talk about it, but like there are advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah, for sure.
Emily, speaking of motion controllers, do you use motion controls in Splatoon?
No, I don't. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah,
yeah, we're very mad.
Yeah.
The silence was not judgment.
I do. Yeah,
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I had a friend Tony who was like, "You should Tony. Yeah, Tony was like, you should use motion controllers to play better.
That's what everybody says.
That was what accent?
Yeah, that's exactly. That's my Tony accent.
I'm sure you get that all the time.
Well, that's great. So the Nintendo Switch has a lot of really great local multiplayer games, and probably lots more.
One that I kind of wanted to mention, I don't play this, I don't know if any of you guys do, but I hear that Diablo 3 is great on a couch multiplayer level.
Austin and I have played a little bit together in real life, but not enough to super comment on it. But
yeah, it's not really my cup of tea.
I like it, but I just haven't spent a ton of time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I just beat Fire Emblem Warriors. And I have the hard copy of that game, so I think I might sell it back to GameStop.
wait, save it for a game.
Yeah, actually, let's talk about it right now. Hey, that's where we are. Let's transition to that. Emily, what have you been playing?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it was over. I was like, this is it. Because I grew up playing like Dynasty Warriors. And so like I was actually selling a lot of my old Xbox stuff to GameStop. And he was like, I noticed that you have a couple of copies of Dynasty Warriors. And if you're trying to like get something like that, Fire Emblem is kind of like that. And I was like, okay, cool. And I ended up really liking it. It is kind of like that, except for you can go in and it's almost like chess where you can pick the people and where they go and who they kill. And they're like, oh no, this guy's about to die. And then
adding
you can
some
like
of that Fire Emblem stuff into it.
Yeah, you can like send the bitch warrior that you don't want to play, be like, go heal them, you know?
Right.
It's really fun. It was shorter than I expected. I feel like the Dynasty Warrior games were like all these groups of people that you can play in their specific team and then unlock all these characters, whereas this was just like one continuous thing with like corny characters. Have you guys played it?
I played Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, Dynasty Warriors is cool, right?
I played Hyrule Warriors as well.
Okay.
Have you played that
similar,
one?
I haven't played it though. Yeah. I might go to it.
Do you
now.
like Zelda?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think
I'm sorry.
If you're looking no, it's okay. It's if
you
you're
don't
looking
have to
for a
like
game if you're looking for a game like that with a huge amount of content, Hyrule Warriors is just jam fucking packed. It's got like all the stuff from the original Wii U version, the 3DS version, and they added more stuff for the Switch version as well. So it's like if you're looking for more of that style of game, the Zelda one is really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might play it. Yeah, I might trade it in.
What did you think of the story and the Fire Emblem characters and all that kind of stuff?
Oh my god. Sometimes you just can't even watch it. It's like you have like at one point you just have a lady with like huge tits and she's just like, what's going on? And you're like, ugh. It was this mom fantasy over here. And then the like kids are like these like incestual blondies. It's pretty gross.
Nice.
And I have to play it like muted if anyone is in the room. If my like landlord is home, since I'm in a duplex, if my landlord is home, I'm like mute. Like, I don't want anyone hearing me play this game. It's like an embarrassing sound.
Nintendo anime franchise, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I feel that same way about Xenoblade. Anytime I played Xenoblade, like the main characters, Pyra and Mithra, there's like giant boobs.
Scantily clad.
Yeah.
Let me mute those boobs.
Yeah.
And I played a little bit of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and she always finds a reason to touch. There's always
boobs.
some like attention drawn to it for some reason. Yeah,
it's so normal.
I know the reason. Well, David, what have you been playing this week?
Not too much new stuff. Like I was saying, I've been playing a little bit of Overcooked, and pretty much played Tetris 99 for several hours today and didn't get a single dub, so that was a little unfortunate. Other than that, though, I did start playing some Star Tropics for the NES.
Nice.
That game is really fantastic, and it's held up. I've been getting further than I've been before in the game, even though I actually owned it for the NES. So that's really fun. Something else we didn't bring up during the couch multiplayer stuff is there are quite a few of those NES games that you can play multiplayer.
Yeah, and they patched in the online multiplayer, which I haven't tried.
Works pretty well. No one's played it.
Why would you?
But a lot of the same, plus some Overcooked and some Mario. What about you, Matt?
I've been playing Apex still. Season 1 just came out today, the day that we're recording it. So as soon as you guys leave, I'm going to hop on to it with some buddies.
God.
So is that a $10 battle pass as well?
I don't know how much it is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay money for skins.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that target audience for skins.
So it's not like Fortnite, because they would do the battle passes
It's
like
very
$10.
similar to that model. Yeah,
Okay.
most definitely. I'm getting back into Smash. I was playing Smash when y'all walked in. I don't know. That game just like takes a hold of me.
A lot of nostalgia with that too.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about like Crash Team Racing when I picked that game. Like that's earlier I said I don't have a PlayStation. I still have a PlayStation 2 in my closet in case I want to play Crash Team Racing.
Well, it's coming to the Switch like in a couple months.
Then I'll get rid of it. the PlayStation.
Well, that was easy.
That's true. We're getting to the point where you can kind of get rid of your Wii U. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of the games are out for it. Although I recommend you don't, because those things are starting to skyrocket in price for collectors.
Yeah, I still have mine.
Yeah. What about you, Patrick?
I've been playing new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe.
There we go.
Yay!
Though I play it by myself.
It's more difficult, right?
I don't know.
It's over if you die. That's why it's more difficult.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. But otherwise, I was playing with my 4.5-year-old, and he got frustrated because he was Nabbit, but he would just fall in holes.
Oh.
He was actually okay at it, but once the levels get harder, there's more platforming, and that requires more precision. But I've been playing it by myself, and I love it. I'm addicted. I'm a big platformer fan, and I'm trying 100% it, which is a lot of work. And I will admit I've actually looked up a couple of things because I've been like, I know there's a secret exit on this. I can tell where this level is. There's an island next to it, and I've looked up one. I'm like, there's no fucking way I would have found that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was it to
maybe
get a coin,
there
or?
would if I just was like 8 again and like could just sit there for hours and
Just
hours.
jump around.
And I've done that. I mean, my sort of rule of thumb is that I'll jump around, I'll die however many times, and then I'll give it a break. And then if I come back and do that again, then maybe I'll look it up because I am not gonna sit there.
See,
forever.
I think for the most part, the game designers in that game have gotten pretty good at. It's like you don't know why you think that that's a secret area, but it's like you just know there's a secret area there.
And most of them I can find, but there are a couple. And there's a couple I haven't given up on finding on my own, but there was one, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, that I was like, there's no way I would have. I mean, I can see the hint.
What was in there?
Oh, it's a secret exit. So, there's some levels where you get a secret exit, and then it takes you on.
Which world was it in? I think I might have just done that level.
It's the first. Okay, potential spoilers here.
I think it's fine.
Spoilers if you're into Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. The first world's secret exit on the second level.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to jump up above, which I figured that out.
Yeah.
But then you have to jump up above again.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a slight hint because there's a slight incline in a place. But I was just racking. And honestly, I didn't even think that level was the one that had a secret exit. So
anytime that there's any sort of flying item in a Mario game, my brain is just trained from years of Super Mario World to just, like, explore the sky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's like you have to jump in just the right place.
Right.
Not a hidden pipe, for a hidden... Like, in those cave levels, you can run above.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a place where you can run above, but then there's
platform.
a secret extra above level.
Oh, I would never guess that.
I wouldn't have either.
Patrick, I accept you for cheating.
Thank you. That's all I'm looking for.
I do not. You're banished from the podcast.
Yeah,
I swear it's hard.
You're blackballed from the gaming industry.
With Breath of the Wild, I have 120 shrines. I think I got
yeah.
to like 95 or something like that, and I was like, I don't got time to search this world.
Really? I did 117.
Damn.
There's like a few I can't find. And I forgot which ones they are, and then I deleted my game because I got it for Switch instead of Wii U. So, it's okay. Well, I actually did start playing Breath of the Wild again the other day after we did our last episode, just because I was feeling nostalgic,
inspired.
Yeah. I really like to. I'm gonna go back and play that game.
Yeah,
it's been long enough now.
That soundtrack that we were talking about a couple episodes ago,
so good.
It's really good.
So good.
Not as good as the soundtrack to this podcast.
That's true. By Corduroy.
Yeah, by Corduroy.
Yeah, thanks to Corduroy for the music.
All right, let's transition into the end, baby.
So you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. Send us an email, superswitchheads@gmail.com.
Yeah, we didn't have any questions for this week, did we?
Not unless they were sent today. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or tweet us on the tweeters.
Switchheads with the Z.
Tweet us on the tweeters, baby.
Tweet us on the tweeters. My boo.
Very cool. Yeah, thanks everybody so much for listening. You can find us online. I'm at Monolith Fiji, pretty much everywhere on the internet.
Hey, I'm at Matthew, MATHYOU.
I'm PDYX or PDYX123 sometimes.
I don't know who I am. I'm Emily. Hey.
Unable to find online.
Too many Emilys.
Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the Nindies thing. We'll be going over that next week. I can't wait to see what's on it. Let's just all right now hold our breath for Spelunky 2. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.